Howdy, howdy. I think we're just up at 2:15 here, so we are going to be getting started. I'm just going to double check real quick to make sure it looks like we're still live and broadcasting, and we are. Yes, very good. So those of you that are watching live, thank you for being with us. Fair warning to everybody here, this is a live broadcast recorded meeting. So if you got anything you needed to, say about a coworker or a superintendent or whatever, hang on to that just a little bit longer. This is live and this is recorded. But hey, thanks for being here. This is our monthly Google user group meeting in a very unusual location and situation. This is not normally how we do it. I'll explain all that in a second. Just out of curiosity, who here has in some way been involved in one of our user group meetings before? You've watched one, you've attended one, just a few. Fantastic. That's great. I'm glad to see we've got a lot of folks. This is brand new to you, and that's wonderful. This will be a nice introduction to it, although this is a bit of a unique one. I'll kind of explain what they're normally like, but because it falls on this day, and there was not another option for us, I thought, why not? Let's just go ahead and have our user group meeting here. So let's go ahead and let me start by just doing a couple of quick housekeeping things for you. There is a shared editable Google document for this meeting. I'd like to make sure you all can access it so that you can get to every link that we have in there and so that you can participate as well. So let me explain how this works. What you'll see is when you walked in, you might have picked up a handout, okay? This is the handout by the door there. You can grab one on the way out too if you want. It's got my contact information. But it also has a link right in here for our Google User Group Live. That link is the same link as shows up here across the top. It's google.apps.spark.org/user group. That is the web address for the user group meetings. Spark is spelled a little funny there. That is SPARCC. That stands for the Stark Portage Area Computer Consortium. But what I would encourage you to do is to visit that site, and then I'll show you where to go from there. So first bit of housekeeping is google.apps.spark.org/user group. Now, where does that go? Well, let me show you where that goes. So, and I can bring it back up if you need it, but let me show you where that goes. And bring up the user group here. So this is the page that takes you to. So again, the link is google.apps.spark.org/user group, Spark, SPARCC. So where that takes you to is this web page, and this is the main web page for our monthly user group meetings. And you'll see we've been doing this for a little while. This isn't brand new. It's been since October. So you can see we've met each month since October. And what you'll see is that for each of the meetings, we have several links. Like for today, you'll notice there was a link to a Google map showing how to get here today. So for those of you that are here today, this is for the KSU. Those watching online, obviously you don't need to worry about that. Then there's a link next to there for the live video. Now again, the folks in here, you don't need to worry about that because you're here. So you're seeing it all live, and we don't want to eat up the bandwidth. But for those people that are watching it elsewhere, that link takes them out to the event page, and from the event page, they can hit the play button here and they can watch this live with us, okay? Then the next link over is the Google Doc. That's what I wanted to make sure you guys could get to. So here for the March meeting, there's a link to the Google Doc. And when you click on that, that will open up this document here, which is the standard agenda document we use pretty much every month for these meetings. And it is editable, so you can type in there. And where I would suggest you type, I'm going to let you guys have plenty of time ahead to think this through. Kind of far down by the bottom, if you scroll past all this blah, blah stuff, which we'll talk about, there's a section called Show and Tell. And I would love to hear from you guys awesome things that you either have seen today at the conference or just over the last month or so, a really cool thing you've seen related to Google Apps. The show and tell section is hopefully something that will continue to grow each month. And instead of just being me or Brian or Anthony, my coworker at Spark, sharing some of the things that we've come up with, we want to hear from everybody else. What are awesome things that you guys have come across? So people are already typing. I love it. Fantastic. So I'm going to encourage you guys to go down to the show and tell section and share something awesome that you saw from the conference today. When we get to that part of the session, if you're bold and brave and would be willing to come up front and share a little bit about it, we would love for you to do so. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm more than happy. Simply, somebody's already starting to erase their thing. They're going, no, I'm not going up front. No, I am more than happy to just share your information as well. But we would certainly love for you to come up and talk about it or demonstrate it, or if it's something that we can pull up on the screen, that would be great. There is a section above there called Q&A. I do not know with the time we have today how much we'll be able to dive into that, but you certainly can throw something in the Q&A section, any questions you have. We'll talk more about that later. So I just wanted you to be aware of how, this is all housekeeping. I guess we haven't officially even started yet. This is just all housekeeping stuff here. As long as you can get to google.apps.spark.org/user group. From there, you can get to the Google Doc that will allow you to see all the stuff we're talking about. And it will also allow you to share awesome things. Oh, this is great, guys. You guys have so many awesome things in there. I'm so excited to see what you've learned here. All right. So with all of that said and done, let's actually begin. Okay. So hi, everybody. My name's Eric. If you've been in any of my sessions today, thank you for being brave enough to come back to another one. I certainly appreciate that. I am from Spark. Spark is the Stark Portage Area Computer Consortium down in Canton. I'm a tech integration guy there. And so I oversee the Spark Google user group, but I also oversee the Google user group of Ohio, along with my colleague, Brian Ditfeld up here. Brian, would you like to just introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. Hello. Brian Ditfeld, Technology Director at Indian Valley Local Schools, and also a Google Education Trainer and Certified Google Administrator. And like Eric said, him and I and Jim Fry, work together on the Google Education Ohio group and try to put out as much stuff as we can. So.
Yeah, fantastic. So Jim's not with us today. I haven't seen Jim anywhere around today. Have you? No, I didn't think he was able to make it to this one. But So basically what this is sort of a meeting of two groups. There's the Spark group, which is more for the Northeast Ohio area, which if you're not in the Spark schools, that's okay. You can join that group too. That's perfectly fine. But my coworker, Anthony Luscre, who's in another session now on a panel somewhere, he helps me with that one. And then it's the Google User Group of Ohio, which Brian and Jim help me with as well. So it's sort of a monthly meeting that combines both of those. So basically, let's go ahead and give you kind of a gist of what this is all about, since some folks, this is brand new for you. The main idea is, I'll go ahead and scroll down here a little bit, is that this is meant to be just a monthly meeting to let people get together and connect and talk about Google and education. We run these meetings on the third Friday of every month, but we try to make them as accessible as possible for everybody. Normally, they're from 9 in the morning till 11. And some of you are already saying, Friday, 9 to 11, I'm teaching. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. And we totally understand that. But let me explain all the different ways you can plug into this, and hopefully it'll still be something you can participate in. So how does all this work? Well, basically, we have the meetings typically at our Canton offices. So down at Spark in Canton, Ohio, I have a group of people just like this for the meeting. And then somewhere in Portage County, Anthony will go up to Portage County. He might go to Garfield or Ravenna or Streetsboro, and he will go to a room there, and we will connect through a live Google Hangout, which we do have a live Google Hangout going on right now as well. There is our Google Hangout. Every time I go back here, it gets ugly, but that's just because it's sharing my screen. And normally this is what it's showing, but when I do that, I get the Inception look. And then we connect through a live Google Hangout so the people at Portage County and the people at Stark County can communicate. But we also broadcast it live. It is a live Hangout on Air. And so even if you can't come to one of the physical meetings, you can simply watch live. Like right now, I don't think we have a ton of people watching live, but we've got four viewers. Excellent. So whoever you are out there, thank you for watching live. We got some people out there that are watching the live stream. And again, how do they do that? From the user group page, there is the link, like we said, to the live video, that if somebody were to follow that link, they could go out and click the play button here and they could watch the live meeting. Now, you may still say that, Eric, that's great, but 9 to 11, I'm not available then. That doesn't work. Well, you know what? because it's a Hangout on Air, they're recorded. So as you see here, all of these previous meetings have a recorded video column as well. So if I were to go to an earlier meeting and give a click on the YouTube link, we'll pop on out here. I'll pause it so it doesn't start playing. There we go. And so what we'll do is we have the recorded videos, but we go a little bit further than just recording the video. You'll see that it says click show more below to see all of the agenda items. So if you go below the YouTube video, there's a show more section that if you click on, there's the entire agenda and it's all time-stamped. So if you just need to jump to a certain part of the meeting because you really wanted to learn a little bit about this cool extension here, you could just click that particular time. It would jump you straight to that part of the video. Whoops, let me try that again. Sorry about that. I think I clicked on the wrong spot, but that's okay. You get the idea. Let me go back down to that again. Sorry. Go down, show more. Come on, bring it up. Show more. There we go. So if I just wanted to look at a particular part, I could click there. And now it has jumped me all the way up to 1 hour and 13 minutes in, and you can get to just the parts you need. And so we try to do that because it's 2 hours long to make it as easy as possible for you to find just the information that you're looking for. So if you can't join us live, definitely watch the video at your convenience, and also jump in the agenda before, during, or after, whatever works for you to be able to learn from that as well. So that's the idea as far as how the meetings run. Okay, and so hopefully that will be beneficial to folks. What we cover in the meetings, typically it involves things like this. We'll do a few updates. We'll talk about upcoming events, maybe conferences that are around the corner. We spend a chunk of our time talking about what's new in Google Apps, which there's always a ton of stuff. And usually in a 2-hour meeting, you'll be surprised how much that eats up just saying, what has happened new in the last month with Google Apps? And so these meetings are designed in part to give you a great way to stay up to date on all of the latest things that Google has rolled out, so you always know what's available for your school. After that, we have the Q&A section. Oh my gosh, we've got a bunch of them coming in here. And again, if we don't get time to answer them today, I will answer these in the agenda. So just pop back in later and I will go through and I will answer those for you. Or Brian will, or somebody will. You can answer them if you know an answer to. We're all the community, so that's perfect. It doesn't have to be me. And then we go through the show and tell section where we talk about new awesome ways that Google Apps is being integrated into schools. And that's usually the meeting. So that's the idea, is upcoming things, all the new changes in Google Apps, questions people have, and then how are people doing awesome things with Google Apps. And those meetings, that's how they run. And again, they're usually about 2 hours long. In addition to the monthly meetings, we also have Google communities set up for Spark and for Ohio in general. So if you have not joined our communities, you'll see that under the updates, we have, and these member counts may be off now because this was a couple of days ago, but we do have a link to our Spark Google user group that if you click on that under updates, you will see a Google Plus community for the Spark area. And again, feel free to join even if you're not a Spark district, that's okay. But this is a online Google community where you can go in and you can post questions, you can connect with other educators, you can share resources. And what you'll see is we have 338 people in there, and we've got all these different topics that you can post things to. So you can come in here and type in a question or share a resource. And when you do, you can add pictures or links or videos, pick what category it goes in. And that's a great way to, again, share a resource or ask a question of other people. We also have a Ohio-wide group, and that's this link here. This is GEG Ohio. And I think we're probably in the 400, yes, 458 members for that. Same layout, though. You can come here and you can post questions, share resources, but you can also scroll down and learn from everybody else who's posting information. There's Brian, and there's me, and there's Nikki, and all kinds of great people in there sharing resources. So if you've not yet joined those communities, we would certainly encourage you to do that as well. All right. Well, I hope that gives the big picture of why we do what we do. Any questions on any of that? Okay. All right. Well, given the time we have today, what I want to do is I want to kind of break it up into just a couple of quick things. I'd like to talk about what is new in Google, and then I want to hear from you guys. Let's hear, what did you learn? Okay. Normally these are about a 2-hour meeting, but we're doing it in 45 minutes. So we're just going to hit some of the highlights here. So as far as what is new in the last month in Google Apps, a couple of cool things to draw your attention to. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't. Google has released a YouTube Kids app. Has anybody tried that out yet? A few people? Okay. Yeah. Basically, this is a mobile app. And what it is a subset of YouTube. So basically, if you download and use this app on is it for iOS as well already? Yeah. Okay, Android and iOS. Basically, what it does is it allows children to view YouTube, and it's curated content. So they only can see videos that have been approved, and they're organized by topic. And then you can also go in and set a timer to only allow them to view for so long. And you can also specify even more specifically which videos they can watch than others. Those of you who have used it, any feedback on it? I think
it's extremely easy for kids to use. I can say personally, my son, who's going to be 3 here in June, I can't get him off the tablet from it. So, I mean, he knows to click on that app, and he's autopilot going in there, clicking shows to watch and stuff. So I mean, to kind of stop by, I mean, if a 2.5-year-old can do it, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So.
Now, one of the neat things about this is we heard this was coming a couple months ago. And so we actually talked about this in the user group when it was a rumor. And it was because the folks at Google are now starting to have kids of their own. A lot of the people that work for Google are younger. And they actually said, that was what they said. They gave this explanation. They said, we're starting to have kids. And we're starting to think, we want them to be able to access all this great stuff, but we're concerned about, things being appropriate for kids. This is the first piece of that, but supposedly they're working on a kids version of Chrome as a browser, as well as a lot of other kid-friendly things. So this is just the first piece in a much more kid-friendly rollout of Google tools. So I'm really excited to see what continues to develop from this. It'll be neat to see. All right. Next thing, we're not going to do all of these, but the next new thing from last month was custom themes in Google Classroom. So let me pull up my classroom here real quick just to show you. Google Classroom constantly getting little new updates as the year has gone on. One of the things you can do now is you can customize the picture, the header at the top. You can customize the theme. Wi-Fi is running a little slow, so I may not be able to get it up fast enough here to show you. Oh, it's too bad. But in Google, it's coming. So in Google Classroom, if I go in, and I pick on a class, normally you were stuck with whatever dozen or so themes they had. You can now come here and you can upload your own photo. You can select a theme, but you can upload your own photo. In addition to selecting themes, they have expanded how many themes there are. Now there's more patterns and more things like that. So you can go into their pattern gallery as well, instead of just the picture gallery that they have if you'd prefer a pattern. But what's nice is you can upload your own photos. You can have a picture that is very specific to you and your class to make that a little bit more personal. Thought that was kind of cool. Here's a big one that people really got excited about when it rolled out, and that is customizable headers and footers and page numbers in Google Docs. We've always had page numbers. We've always had headers and footers. But what couldn't you do in the past? Okay, you couldn't have your first page different. Okay, now, come on. If you're doing a research paper, do you put the page number on page 1? No, normally not. Okay, normally you want to have your page 1 different from the rest of the document. You couldn't do that before in Google Docs, and people complained about that a lot, rightly so. I understand it. So now if I go to page 1 of this document here, and if I come down to the footer area and I click in the footer area, I can type in my footer here, but look what I have. I have a checkbox that says different first page. If I check that, then anything I put on this first page will not affect the rest of the pages, or anything I put on the rest of the pages won't affect the first page. So if I come here and if I were to type in something like, Google user group agenda, I put that now on my second page. Yep, that's going to show up on my third page there. It's going to show up on my fourth page there. But if I go all the way to my first page, it's not there. It does not show up in the footer. So you can have a different first page from the rest of them. Not only that, but if you go to insert a page number, so let's say I come here and I want to put in a page number. If I go to insert page number, I now have the option whether it's in the top or the bottom, so the header or the footer, and whether it starts on the first page or whether page 1 starts on the second page, in case the first page is like a cover page. So I could say, you know, let's go ahead and start it on the bottom on the second page. And so now that's page 1 instead of this being. Now that doesn't make sense here, obviously, since this really is page 1. But if this was a cover page, it wouldn't be a problem because now page 1 could actually start on page 2. So that is something people have been asking for a long time and are excited about that. Did you hear about that in your school? Were people happy about it? Yeah, I mean, because I know they've been asking about that for a long time. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to go into detail on all of these admin things, but there's several admin changes. There's now a quarantine option in Gmail, so administrators who administer your Google Apps domain, you can now set quarantines when a message meets certain criteria. Instead of forwarding it to another address, there's actually an official quarantine. You can set up to 20 quarantine boxes to hold email messages. That's for admins, as well as this one down here. There's a new management section rolling out to manage your apps in the admin console, and there's now a new management option for your network page. So if you're used to going into your Chrome devices and seeing everything on one page with user settings, network settings, device settings, public session settings, not anymore. They've broken them apart and they're now on their own separate pages. So no new features, just be aware it looks different when you get in there. It doesn't look quite the same. Although I shouldn't say that. It's more unified, so I guess that is a new feature. You can set up a Wi-Fi access point, an SSID, and you can push it to Chromebooks, mobile devices, and other things all in one place. You don't have to do it on separate screens now. All right. What else is new that's worth mentioning? Incoming has become shared with me again. How many people got everybody trained on incoming? And then it changed, right? Okay, so if you go to Google Drive, I love Google, they're great. If you go to Google Drive, if you switch to the new look of Google Drive, the big changes were the create button became new, and shared with me became incoming. And so we went around telling people, it's not shared with me anymore. It's now called incoming. Well, guess what? It's shared with me again. But not only is it shared with me, did you guys notice? They actually reverted it back to the old functioning too. Because when it was incoming, when you clicked on incoming, you did not get the normal features. Instead, you got this little 3-dot thing over here on the side you had to click on to move things over to your drive. You lost drag and drop ability. You lost sorting ability. Those are all back now. So for example, if I come here and I say I've got my folders and I want to drag and drop something from my shared with me, I can do that now. I can come in here and grab something and I can actually drag and drop it over to my folders. I could not do that before. In addition to dragging and dropping, I still have the best of both worlds. I still have the 3 dots. So I can still use that to add it to my drive, but drag and drop is back and sorting is back. I can now come up here and click on how this is being sorted. Right now it's being, well, maybe not. I can't. Oh, there. Oh, sorry. Click the wrong place. Name or date. Okay, so I can sort name or date. Okay, well, that's better than nothing. All right. So that was a big change and a good one. Next up, as far as new things, has anybody tried out the new contacts? Anybody see the new contacts yet? Okay, Google is rolling out a facelift to contacts. So if you're used to the old contacts, I don't know if I can show you the old ones easily here. Let me pop over here and let me show you the old contacts. Contacts, here we go. So here's the normal contacts. This is what we're used to seeing. So if you go into contacts, normally you had these options down the left-hand side, then you had everybody's contacts here, and you could create groups and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's the old contacts. The new one, if you go to contacts.google.com/preview, you can see what the new contacts is going to look like. This is not turned on for Google Apps for Ed yet. So if you want to look at it as a preview, you can only preview it in your personal Gmail account. The preview does not work in Google Apps Red yet. I'm sure it will eventually. It's at the moment just available for a personal account. So once this loads up, you'll see it's a much more attractive layout now. Everything's more those like card layouts that you normally see for like Google Now and that kind of stuff. Sorry, it's taking just a bit to come up. Here you go. And so now if I were to come in, if I were to pick, for example, my Spark contact, I'm on my personal one. Here's my Spark one. See, it's a much more attractive looking, not just because my picture is there, but a much more, yeah, that picture is like 7 years old. I don't even look like that anymore. You know, I'm bald. I weigh 300 pounds. So that is not me at all anymore. But it's a much more attractive layout. I don't really see a lot of new functions, but who knows, maybe this will let them do some things differently, but it does consolidate everything very nicely into some more attractive cards. You can still do all the normal stuff, like if you want to create groups, you can still go in and create groups, and after you create groups, you can then go in to those groups, and inside of the group, you can hit the little plus, and you can add people to the group. So it still functions very much like the old one. You're just going to have to get used to things being in different parts of the screen. They're not quite where they used to be. All right, we'll hit just a few more things and let's hear from you guys. What else is new? Aha, Google has announced their Education On Air conference, May 8th through 9th. So this is something that they did years ago. I actually was part of the first Education On Air, did a couple of sessions for them that time. This was like maybe 4 years ago. I'm trying to think how long back this was. Well, they are now bringing Education On Air back around again, May 8th and 9th. There'll be just 2 days pretty much of Hangouts, of webinars that you can watch online and learn, and they're also all going to be recorded. So if you can't watch some of them live, no problem at all. You can catch them later recorded. At the moment, there's not a lot of information about what the sessions are going to be, just that May 8th is going to be a little bit more leadership focused, and May 9th, and then May 9th will be a lot more grab bag, lots of different things. So a lot of tools and a lot of variety of sessions. You can go on here and you can register right now. So if you go to the website, there's a spot there to register, which allows you to be able to get upcoming information and updates about it. And like once they put the schedule online, they'll let you know. I did submit, Brian, did you submit anything for it, or anybody else in here submit anything for it? I think I'm going to be presenting. They sent me an email saying that I was going to be, but I don't know what. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I believe I'm doing some kind of a couple sessions on the 9th. So guys, that's just another great opportunity there for you to get some PD provided not really by Google, but by you. It's by educators all around the world. They just, encourage lots of different educators to share sessions through there. So I'd definitely encourage you to do that. Boy, let's go ahead and skip. I think most of the rest of this stuff is pretty basic things. Definitely follow those links if you're interested in any of those. Normally, we dive in a little bit deeper, but I'm excited, though, to hear what you guys got out of our conference today. So what I'm going to do is we're going to shift gears here. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about the show and tell. And we're going to hear the awesome things you guys came across while you were at the sessions today. Before we do that, I will say one more thing that I forgot to mention, but I think you're going to care about. I'm going to give away one last prize today. We've got a Google Play gift card. I've been giving away one during each of our sessions today as a random drawing. And here's the way you can get put into the random drawing. And that is there's a sign-in form here underneath important links. It's tiny.cc/GUG-sign-in. If you give a click on that, it gives you a chance to register that you were at this meeting. You can put in your information, what school you're from, pick today's date, and you do have to pick that you were at the conference. Those of you viewing online, unfortunately, I can't necessarily get this prize to you. So I would encourage you to go ahead and register your attendance here today. So again, that's under important links. Just fill out that quick form to let us know you were here, and we will be doing a random drawing at the end for the gift card. All right, so let's shift over to show and tell. So again, if any of these things are something that you typed in and you would like to talk more about them, I would encourage you to, when we get to these, to come up front so people can hear you and so the mic can pick you up and so the recording can pick you up, and to be able to tell us a little bit more about these. Now, the very first one I'm going to skip over, which is Google Feud. If we have time, we might have played it. Has anybody played Google Feud yet? Okay, just be aware it exists. We won't actually play it other than to let you know that it exists. Google Feud is like Family Feud. You pick a category, and then it gives you a start to Google search. And then hey, maybe we have to play it. This is tough. I have a hard time not playing it. And then you put in what you think autocomplete would have said, and it takes the top 10 autocomplete suggestions from Google. So 6 billion people surveyed. Survey says, so for example, what do you think? Rap is loud. No, that wasn't. Rap is obnoxious. I didn't spell that right. No, popular. Oh my gosh, what was it? Rap is dead, not music. Out of control. Like ZD. Okay, so you get the idea. This is kind of hard not to play. Should I start dieting? Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Saving money.
Saving. Oh my gosh. Should I start a blog? Smoking, a business? Should I start Peyton Manning? Okay. Somebody's got fantasy football going on. You get the idea. So you got people, how to look cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Older. Oh, we got one! Woo! Okay, so play that. Now, fair warning, guys. There's no guarantee that inappropriate content won't come up because the questions are fine. The questions are pre-selected, and I looked through a bunch. I've never seen a bad question, but it is pulling live the top 10 autocomplete things, and Google doesn't make those up. That's what we as a society make up. So they're pulling the top 10 things people have typed in, so there's no guarantee. So use with caution with students, but I think this could be a great tool for social studies, sociology. You can have some really interesting discussions based off of that. The other thing I'm going to say for sure is the second bullet, which, Brian, I think this is from you. Do you want to mention a little bit about googleizingedtech.com?
Yeah, just it's actually a new site that I blog site that I put up. Finally got it finished in time for today, so I got it up late last night, and it's just a site that I've created to kind of help educators learn about various benefits of using Google Apps in education. So on top of just my basic blog posts, I have other pages on there with links to a lot of good apps, Chrome apps, Android apps, different things that people seem to have a lot of questions about. So and I plan on continuing to add more and more to that as time goes on. So
fantastic. So googleizingedtech.com, a new blog from Brian. Awesome. All right. Anybody want to claim ownership of any of these? Let's see. Playbooks, online bookstore, send books to students through Google Play for Ed. Anybody want to mention why that was awesome to you? Yes.
Really, just for those reasons, I think it as a resource for students, as a free resource, and really for them to be able to practice some of those tools, the highlighting, the reading text online. I mean, that's what they're required to do with our new state assessment. So what better way to give practice?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you haven't used the Google Play Store for books, it really is very powerful. Yes, there are books you can purchase. Yes, there are free books, but you can also upload your own PDFs to it. So it will take, so if I go to Google Play Books, and once I get there, it'll show all of my books. But in addition to my books here, and a lot of these are books I read my kids, so that's why the 14th Goldfish is there, and Roscoe Riley, and some awesome things like that. but there's a button that says upload files. If you click upload files, you can drag and drop your own PDFs into there, and it will add them to your Google Play account there. And then you can do all the things that you were talking about there with the highlighting. And if you're using it on mobile, it does text to speech on mobile. So it can actually read it aloud to the students as well on the mobile version of Google Play Books. So good catch on that. Excellent. How about, I discovered some amazing Google tools for students with special needs. Awesome. Anybody want to claim that one or say anything more about it? If not, that's okay. Yep. If you're wondering what those are, those were from my session, I'm guessing, unless you were at John Smith's. John did one too. John did a great one on special needs too. If not, I'll copy. This is actually, let me copy the link for you. I did a session on Google tools for special needs. And here is the link to all of, whoops, that does not look good. Let me try that again. It was tiny.cc/Kurtz something or other. Kurtz, what was it? Kurtz 34. All right. So there you go. So that's the link to, oh, nope. I got too much in there. Don't click it. It's wrong. All right. There you go. Don't know where that goes. And there it is. Google Tools for Special Needs. All right. So, all right. Add-ons, Thesaurus, EasyBib, speech recognition, GMath, easy accent, random generator, on and on and on. Anybody want to talk about add-ons? Who mentioned that or anything you want to say? Just that you're happy to learn about them? Yeah, add-ons are fantastic. That one was this one right here. That was the last session I did, supercharging Google Docs with add-ons. I will try not to botch the link this time. And here it is. Let me put in the HTTP, and there's the link for all the add-ons stuff. Yes. We use Google Hangouts to do a Let's Ask America game show. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm a K-8 school, so we only have 9 classrooms, and you can have up to 10 in a Google Hangout. So we use the computer lab, and we do our announcements that way. But we did a Let's Ask America because the kids wanted to do something fun and different, so they got a chance to learn how to use Google Hangouts. And we gave each classroom a whiteboard, and they had to answer questions, and it was just a lot of fun. The kids thought
awesome.
It was the 45 minutes, and they want to do it again.
So your students were connecting with whom?
With Google Hangouts.
But to who was on the other end of the Hangout?
It was within this,
with each other. But that's fine. You were just using, and that's great because Hangouts is a phenomenal tool, but we do exactly what I just did. We always think I'm connecting to some other location. No, you can just use it right within your own school to connect student to student in a unique way like that.
And then the kids now have learned how to use it at home. And
wonderful.
For other reasons, so.
Thank you for sharing that. Next, my Chinese teacher changed the language on her Google search settings to Chinese. She has students go up to her computer and speak. They can get the voice search to recognize what they have said. The pronunciation is good. They love it. And so do I. Oh, so you're using, who said this?
They said they're not here.
Oh, they're not here. Oh, they're not here, but that's fine. I love that because that's basically making sure that it's a way to test their pronunciation. We talked about something similar, boy, I don't know if I can remember now, 2 months ago when we talked about the Google Translate app for the mobile device that now does a lot of that too, where again, you can speak in one language and of course it'll translate it into the other. And it's a great way for students to practice their pronunciation, to see how well they can pronounce it, to see if the app can properly translate it. That's another phenomenal idea, just to change the language setting on Google search and have you practice your pronunciation that way. Good stuff. All right, next, I added Google Safe Search to my Google Classroom for the K-3 to use when they aren't sure of the results. Who wants to claim that?
Well, that was me because my 3rd grade, when I wasn't there, started searching cultures, and he typed in Brazil. And we just got done talking about if you find something inappropriate when you search Google, and they had a lot of inappropriateness.
Brazil? Oh, come on. Why would they? I'm sure it had nothing to do with posteriors, did it? No, not at all. All right. Okay. All right. And then read and write for Google, a Chrome extension. Who said they liked that? Way in the back. Awesome. Yes, that is a phenomenal extension. We talked about it in the special needs one, but it may have come up other places as well here. It's a great extension. I don't have it installed on this account here. I'd have to switch over to the other one to show it again. But it gives you text to speech. It gives you speech to text. It gives you highlighting. It gives you picture dictionary, regular dictionary. It creates a vocab list. It's a great tool as an add-on to Google Docs. All right. Anybody else want to share something amazing from either today or recently, Google Apps related? Oh, we're doing good. All right. Well, we're starting to knock on 3 o'clock. It's about 5 minutes till. So again, what I want to say is I apologize, first of all, that we can't get to everything here today. But if you put something in here to the questions, I will definitely take a look at those and make sure that we do get an answer for you. So please check back later in the document and we'll address some of those. These meetings typically are 2 hours. So normally we do go in depth into what's new in Google, any questions, all of the new show and tell stuff. But today, I hope at least gave you an idea of what this is all about and encouraged you to be part of our Google user group. Remember that you can join the communities. So we have our Spark Google user group and we have our Google user group of Ohio. Both of these are in the updates section here. You can join those communities. And then also you can always go to our website to take part in each month's meetings. We are going to give away, though, a gift card here. So if you did not sign in, this is your last chance to sign in. At this point, I am going to unshare my screen because I don't want to throw people's email addresses up on the screen there. So hi, everybody. Now I'm back up there. I don't think you guys would appreciate me throwing your email addresses on the recorded one. I'm going to obviously it'll be up here, but I'm not going to throw it on the recorded one. So let me go ahead now and let's give away something here. So let's go to the form. This is the form. Let's go to pull up the data. So let's get our responses. And we're going to use an add-on for this. So let me scroll down past the old ones here just to get to today. All right, so here's today, NEOTech. Perfect, there we go. So let me grab all you guys from the conference today here. Perfect. And I'm going to copy you, and I'm going to throw you guys into a new document here. Let me take this one out. Perfect. Okay. So there's everybody that signed up, unless there was any no last minute people. Perfect. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to use an add-on that creates random numbers. So I'm going to use an add-on for Google Sheets called Random Generator. And we're going to throw in unique random numbers for each person. Then we're going to sort, and whoever comes to the top with the lowest number will be our winner for today. So drum roll here. Let's generate these and let's sort. And I think we can already tell who it is, but let's sort anyway. Sort by there. And it is ATR2JC@jackson.spark.org. Come on up. All right, Andrew. Good job, buddy. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. Stay in touch with the group and have a fantastic weekend and take care. Thanks so much, everybody. And we're signing off here as well.